Hey guys, haven't really had time to put together a full-length tutorial video this week, but I figured I'd bring you a short one going over a mantra I like to fly by, and that is jump or be jumped. Especially when fighting other experienced Liberator crews, it is incredibly important to start the fight with the advantage. At a high skill level between two relatively evenly matched crews, the one who gets the jump on the other is probably going to win 8 or 9 out of 10 times due to how difficult it is to overcome the massive health difference after a good starting tank buster. And on the note of the tank buster, I've survived more times than I can count because someone started shooting it too early. It's a very close quarters oriented weapon, so if your opponent doesn't know you're by them, wait until you're right on top of them to start shooting. The further away you are, the more damage you'll lose and the more opportunity you'll give them to turn and retaliate. This may sound like common sense, but I still see people shooting at my Liberator from 200-300 meters away with the tank buster when I didn't even know they were there, and they give themselves away. At this point, they lose the element of surprise, and they often lose the battle soon after. To try and always maintain the initial advantage, you also need to be able to go into what I call counter-Liberator mode. This is a flying style I go into when I know or suspect that there's another Liberator crew out there hunting for me specifically. I typically go high, up around the flight ceiling, and fly in circular patterns to try and minimize my blind spots and reduce the angles that the other Liberator can attack me from. From there, be patient and wait for your opponent to make a mistake, like attacking ground targets, where they put themselves in a vulnerable position. I only go back to a normal, more aggressive attack on ground targets once I know that the other Liberator has been taken care of, and I'm not at undue risk of getting jumped. Now, this last tip is for anyone who tailguns or regularly flies with a tailgunner. Since the Liberator update, it is much more likely that you have a tailgunner with the increased angles and how much more fun it is to use, and that's an awesome thing. However, I've noticed a disturbing trend amongst people tailgunning for me. Now that they can look forward and down, that's all they do. Don't do that though. The tailgun during normal flight needs to be watching behind and above the Liberator. Personally, when I have a tailgunner, I spend a little less time watching my own back and trust them to do it for me. When they're looking at the ground, they can't do that job. So remember, if you're on a tailgun, look behind the Liberator. The pilot and the belly gunner have the front and bottom covered. You're the only one who can look behind though. There's really no excuse for a 3 of 3 lib to ever be taken by surprise by anything, yet it happens all the time. So, to sum up, if you're not jumping someone, odds are you're about to get jumped yourself. Don't get jumped, be the jumper. And if you're on the tailgun of a Liberator, don't worry about what's underneath you, worry about what's behind. Anyways, that's all for now. Enjoy the rest of the video.